board. This will be recorded for some people who've requested a copy of it, unable to attend. All I ask is that each one of you go ahead and mute yourself if you're able to, because sometimes there's background noise. We all want to be focused. And what I want to do is go through each one of you and hear in a minute or less who you are. And then I want to hear the success you're having with Send Out Cards as a real estate professional and what challenges you have. And we're all going to mastermind and come up with some super fun stuff. So Edna, would you like to go ahead and go first?
Sure. So I live in California and married with 3 kids. I'm new to real estate. And so I really wanted to focus more on a relationship-based instead of the cold calling and door knocking type of prospecting. And so I stumbled upon Send Out Cards and with Jim McCord. And so I recently, at the beginning with the program, I felt it was a little outdated when it came out, so I didn't use it as much. And then when I saw the update, I became a lot more excited, and I've been better now at using it. I still need to be more consistent. And so I did have my first referral for a buyer because of Send Out Cards recently. And you know, that's it pretty much. So I'm hoping to kind of learn some more, do some more, and add different ways to use Send Out Cards. And that's pretty much it.
Awesome. Well, I don't know Jim very well, but what I hear, he's an amazing mentor. So you got a good one, Edna.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Okay, fabulous. So we'll go ahead and go through the ones that just joined us. Welcome. This is being recorded. We're going to go through and share who you are and what success you've had and any struggles, and we're all going to mastermind. So Robert, you're up next. You ready?
Can you hear me?
I can.
Outstanding. Robert, good friend of Jim McCord's, and he's a good teacher. We spent some time together in the convention. And live in Southern California. I belong to a couple of real estate organizations, and the whole objective is getting them to send a card. I just finished a meeting about 2 minutes before this webinar with a group explaining about the broker is purchasing a $97 account, and the agents can use the account to send one card immediately to one person, and they love it. And also had a little flyer made where they can sign up for a free account if they need to send gifts along with everything else. So the program works. It's just me being educated on the new system.
Fabulous. And so Robert, just to clarify, you're working with real estate agents, or you are a real estate agent?
No, I'm a Send Out Cards referral partner working with real estate agents.
Got it. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Robert. Jim, you're up. Welcome.
Hey, how you doing? Can you hear me okay?
We can.
Wonderful. I joined Send Out Cards in 2009, and it's really interesting how and why I joined. I had another realtor, that was hitting on me for about 6 months to join this company called Send Out Cards. And number one, I had never mailed a greeting card in my life, and that's a fact. I never even mailed Christmas cards to my clients. I've been a realtor for 17 years, but I've never mailed greeting cards. And I've been a top realtor, so greeting cards just was not part of my marketing. And on top of that, Brad, the agent who was trying to share Send Out Cards with me, also told me that it was a network marketing company. So I had zero interest. I mean, zero, because I really disliked network marketing at that time. Well, what happened is in October of 2009, he sent me a greeting card from an open house I was at, and it had my picture on the front. And I got it. I mean, as soon as I opened up that envelope and I saw a greeting card with my picture in front of a house, I realized that everybody who bought a house from me from that day on had to have that same feeling that I just got by opening that card. I was 52 years old. Nobody had ever sent me a greeting card with a picture of me on it. And it just had a wow feeling. And so I joined then, and I joined only to send thank you cards to people who bought houses from me. That was phenomenal. You know, the reaction, everybody doesn't get with you, but the reaction was better than any other thank you gift I had ever sent. So I've always been a listing agent, and I thought, how can I use this company, this custom greeting cards, to get listings? So I started going after my for sale by owners with Send Out Cards rather than the cold phone calling and the door knocking that I used to do. And I'm telling you, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's instantly, it was phenomenal. The very first for sale by owner I sent a card to, not a gift, just a card. He called me up. I listed his house for like it was $830,000. The first expired I sent a card to was like $699. He called me. So the very first two prospecting cards I sent, they both called me. And, you know, I thought this is phenomenal. Well, it doesn't work that good. I've been using it for 9.5 years now. And it works better than anything I've ever tried. But everybody you send a card to doesn't call you. But what happens is when you send that card, if that's the first impact they have from you as a realtor, the first thing they get is either a picture of their house or a picture of them or their family. It's amazing what it does to that client, because all the other realtors are cold phone calling, cold door knocking, and they're farming and sending massive amount of information how great the company is. And Send Out Cards just isn't like that. So, you know, after a few years of that, I started making videos for everybody to use to share with realtors around the country, and the videos really took off. And then about 2 years ago, I wrote this book because I thought if the videos do well, the book might do good. So I wrote that book called A Revolution in Real Estate Sales, and that's on Send Out Cards. It's also on Amazon for $9.95. I think it's $14.95 on Send Out Cards. And it just took off. I sold over 13,000 copies. And this past January, after selling for 25 years, I decided to stop selling. And I coach realtors now nationwide, and I love it. But here's the bottom line. None of that would have happened. I guess I left out one of the most impressive parts is 5 years ago, I started using Send Out Cards for luxury homes. My first 20 years, I never listed or sold one home, not one over $1 million. 5 years ago, I started using it for $1 million homes. It's ridiculous. I mean, I never had one. I got licensed in Ohio where they never heard of me. I listed over 40 homes over $1 million. And it's all because of the use of Send Out Cards. That's how powerful Send Out Cards is. So I would have never listed $1 million home or sold one. I would have never written a book, that's for sure, because who would buy my book? And I certainly would never been a coach without Send Out Cards. So if there's any realtors on here who are not using Send Out Cards, start using the system. That's all I can tell you.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Jim, for sharing that. And I love the luxury is actually my niche. I've worked with the richest real estate in the world. It was overseas. And then I also trained a whole luxury international marketing company. So I love that you utilize that. So thank you so much. Okay, Joe, you're up next. Really quick, share with us who you are, success. I know you've got some good success stories to share with us. I thought was fascinating. And your challenges, Joe, you're up. Joe, you're muted. I'm going to unmute you. Oh, you muted yourself. So you have to unmute yourself, Joe. Okay, Joe, we're going to go ahead and come back to you because it looks like you froze up.
Is that better?
Oh, wait, there you are. Hey, Joe. Okay, tell us who you are, the success and challenge.
My name is Joe Patterson. I've been a realtor since '06. I've been a member of Send Out Cards as a referral partner since, well, I guess about the last 8 years or so probably about the same time frame. And Send Out Cards was something that I was introduced to because somebody that I did not know sent me this incredible card in the mail. And, you know, the quality of the card stood out, and it just kind of jumped at us. So we dove into Send Out Cards on a personal level, but I never really put two and two together to use it for business until recently. And really it came out with all these new plans that we have. So what I've done now is I use it for farming. There's I guess somewhat of a
Oh, Joe, you froze.
area using repetitive cards, and about 30 to 40 cards a day. But, you know, I'm doing individual cards through Canva and sending them out to, basically I'm taking my farm area and I'm doing anywhere from 20 to 30 cards a day, but I'm personalizing them to each member of the community.
So Joe,
and then I backtrack on Facebook. I grab birthdays and everything else and add that to the mix also.
so did you send out over 300 cards in 72 hours?
538 cards.
538 cards in 72 hours. And what results did you have? And that was farming a community, right?
That was farming a community where my father's house is listed. I ended up with 11 showings strictly from community members, 2 of which I have listing appointments with next week. And one of them whose brother is actually coming in and has put an offer on the house that hasn't been accepted yet.
That's awesome. I think that's an amazing way. And I'm so grateful you were able to hop on and be here with us and share that success story. Has anybody else here farmed? Unmute yourself if you farmed a community, busted out like Joe did. You can unmute yourself. Kathy, I unmuted you because I see you were talking.
My name's Kathy Hazelrig. I'm a realtor with Keller Williams in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Okay.
I am currently in West Palm Beach where we have a condo, so I'm here for 3 months. But last week I sent out that was a different thing, but I sent out, I have a buyer who's looking to buy an RV garage home. So I created something on Canva with an RV on it, looking for an RV garage home. And I sent out 10 cards to anyone in the past 10 years I could pull up out of my MLS who had bought an RV garage home. And I got 2 phone calls. And one of them ended up with a listing appointment. So I thought that was pretty good return for 10 cards. And I was not in town, but my son has his license in Vegas. So he went over there and had an appointment, and he needs to do some work on it, but he wants to sell it. So we're going to be continuing to follow up with him. But he called me because of the card. That's the only way that I could get a hold of him.
That's awesome. One of the trainings I have is riches in the niches. So I love how you niche the whole RV thing. That's awesome.
The RV thing. Yeah. And now I've got the guy that wanted to buy the RV house decided to go ahead and put his house on the market. And I've been sending out mailings within the neighborhood that does not send out cards though. But anyway, my next thing is that I want to send out to the community and let them know about this RV garage home that just came up for sale. And so my challenge with that is not getting into trouble with send out cards, because I've been a distributor, now referral partner, since 2006. I've only been in real estate for 5 years, but I don't want to jeopardize my send out cards. So just going to think about individualizing some of those cards, or maybe that may not be the best venue for.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that. I know we've got some people here can brainstorm, especially Jim, I'm sure in just a moment has some really good information too. So we'll get back to you, Kathy. Thank you so much. Hey, Jennifer, you're up. I'm going to go ahead and I unmuted you. Please share with us who you are and the success you've had in Challenge. Jennifer? Okay, so we'll go ahead and come back to Jennifer. Naomi, you're up.
Okay, great. I'm Naomi. I am a real estate agent and real estate investor down in St. Pete, Florida. And I have a 1-year-old. She's sleeping.
Aww. Oh, I can't hear you all of a sudden, Naomi. It's something on your end. Can't hear you. So we'll come back. We'll come back to you in just a moment, okay? Pat, you're up. Pat? Sounds like Pat's listening to radio. Okay, so we'll come back to Pat. Michael, you're up.
Well, there's 2, on either side of the wall.
Okay, Michael's talking to someone. Billy has him locked, so let's go to Kat. Did you want to say something? You can unmute yourself, Kat. Okay, Naomi, we're back to you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I unplugged my headphones. Trying not to wake the baby. What I was saying is I have a 1-year-old and she's sleeping. It never coincides like this. I've been a licensed realtor since 2007. I've only been with Send Out Cards now for a year. I have been investing in real estate since 2012. And one of the struggles I had with marketing for my investment properties, I buy, fix, and sell, is I needed to be able to have a product that I could personalize to the client. For example, I do probate. So it's not a huge list that I'm working with. I mean, in Florida, we have a lot of people die, so my list is pretty good for nationally, but you know, so many of my competitors, and I think I threw it away, they send out these very generic, we buy houses stuff, and you know, they get so many from investors. And the Send Out cards, I've been using, since the plans changed, I've been really hammering down in the small windows of time that I have when baby is sleeping. I was looking back at my spreadsheet, and I have over 250 pieces that I have mailed out for probate since April. And so some are one person per house, some are 3 people per house, depending on how many are the beneficiaries. And of these, I've had 3 calls to go look at the houses. I have another one this Saturday. And then I've had 2 other people call saying that they're not selling it yet because they're waiting for probate, but they're going to call me back. And then 2 people call me and say that they already have a relationship with a realtor, but that this was the most impressive marketing that they've seen. So that, from this short of a list, is really good. Before baby, last year when I was doing this, I wouldn't have gotten that many calls, and most of the calls I were getting were people that were annoyed saying, take me off your list. So I have been really excited with Send Out cards. So, and I'm going to start using it for all these other things. I want to do more for Sell by Owner and Expireds. I coach with Jim. He's awesome. Hey, Jim. But right now my time is so limited. She starts school in August, so I'm going to have 3 days a week, 4 hours a day to bust out Send Out cards. And but from what I've been able to do for an hour a day when she's napping and 2 hours at night after she goes to bed has been really impressive, and I'm super stoked about it.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. What's your biggest challenge, Naomi?
Time. Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm not using Send Out cards. I still, you know, have boxes of postcards that I had mass printed that I can send out when I want to do like blasts that are very generic. But what I love about the program, which I guess it's not really a challenge. I mean, time is my biggest challenge, I would say. Just because it's time consuming, but it's so powerful that it's worth the time that it takes to generate, in my opinion.
Got it. Have you evaluated hiring someone to help you?
Well, originally that was my first thought when they changed these plans, and I'm going to tread lightly there just because of the fair use policy, and of course I don't want to screw anything up for myself. But yes.
Okay,
sure.
Awesome. You may like one of my books. I've published 6 books. It's called Create the Perfect Day.
Okay.
And I also have a planner that goes with it on how to maximize your time.
Okay.
Because people always ask, how do you get so much accomplished? And I just follow my own blueprint and I share it in there.
Okay, good.
So you might like that. That helped you out. Kat, can we hear you now? I think something's going on Kat's end. Okay, so let's see here. Michael? Hey, Michael, you there? I can hear Michael shuffling around. Okay. And then did we get to Pat? Let's see here. Pat, did we get to you?
I am here. You tried to get to me before, but I don't know. I don't know what happened. But anyway, I'm here.
Yay, you're here. Okay, Pat, go ahead and introduce who you are, success and challenge you have.
Okay. I'm Pat Towns. I am in the Atlanta area. I've been a realtor since 2002, so 16 years. And I first got introduced to Send Out cards in the fall of 2011 and fell in love with it immediately and started using it just to send my Christmas cards and cards to family and friends and that kind of thing. And then I thought, well, they were a big hit. Everybody loved the cards. So I thought, well, if they all love them, maybe I could use them in my real estate business. So I did a mailing to a neighborhood. I had listed a house in this neighborhood. I did a mailing of about 70 houses and invited everybody to come by and take a look at the house. And one couple called me from that card, and they came by and looked at the house. It was not a fit for them, but and they thanked me for showing them the house, and I sent them another card thanking them for coming to look at the house. So about a week later, they called me and asked me if I would represent them as their buyer's agent because they were still looking. And so I did, and found them a new house and sold their old house and earned about $15,000 in real estate commission. And that mailing had cost me about $75. So that was a pretty fair return on investment, I thought. So since then, I have just been using it constantly in my real estate business, and I do a lot of property management, so I send cards to my tenants and landlords, and it's just been a really, really big hit, and I get lots of business from it. And that's the only kind of marketing that I do. I don't do any advertising, so all my business is now word of mouth and marketing with the Send Out cards.
Awesome. Thank you, Pat. Thank you so much for sharing that. I love stories. And I did have some people write in as well, and we'll go ahead and share their success and different struggles because they wanted us to record this. They were unable to go ahead and attend. Kat, I did go ahead and receive your message, so let's go ahead and do this one more time. So Kat, you there? Kat, I don't know if you're on your phone. Maybe you accidentally hit mute on your phone. Okay, so we can't hear Kat. So Kat, you could just go ahead and communicate with us on the side, and then we're just going to give one last chance. Michael, third time's a charm, right? Michael?
I wanted to ask about the light switch in the new room.
Okay, so Michael apparently is getting a new light switch in the room. Okay, so Billy has locked his on unmuting. So Billy, if you want to unlock. And then I have someone on an iPhone. It doesn't have a name and it's locked. So I don't know if somebody's called in from 2 different channels. So I'm not quite sure. Well, I don't know most of you here except for Joe. I'm so grateful. Hey, Joe, do you want to go ahead? How about you share what you know about me, Joe, in the brief time we've known each other? You want to do that?
Yeah.
I put you on the spot.
That's okay. No, I kind of met Jessica by happenstance. I mean, we were paths crossed online, and really, I looked at the things that you were doing in your business and professional life, and it kind of it struck a chord with me because you branch out in a lot of different ways, and I see you helping a lot of different people reach their helping them to get to their full potential, and that's something that's always been important for me to do. Unfortunately, to a fault where I neglect myself in the process. And so when you and I connected, real estate was a topic for us. EXP became a topic for us. Send Out Cards became a topic for us. Even some of the women's group type stuff that you're doing was of interest to me, just in the way that the networking has been going and the information that's come from it. Actually looking forward to buying a few of your books, even though I absolutely hate to read. So,
well,
but it's been good because I think some of what you're doing is more for me. It's an accountability factor, and it's a great help for me. Like these things here that we're doing, Send Out Cards. I think everybody on here knows Send Out Cards is, as my wife would say, the bee's knees. But it's a matter of putting it to use in a way that's positive and beneficial. It's not just sending a card to say thank you or happy birthday, but you can truly launch this into something much bigger than just the basics that you see in front of you.
Well, thank you, Joe, for that. And the whole reason why I started this is because I was with Send Out Cards probably about 15 years ago, and I did leave. And then I came back about a month ago, and people kept reaching out to me and asking for help and advice. So I decided to go ahead and get this mastermind together. I don't have all the answers, and we can all share and brainstorm. I've been leading masterminds for years, and I love this. I love this where we come together and inspire one another and share what's working and not working and go ahead and help each other. I hear noise, so I'm going to go ahead and, I don't know who that is. So anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and mute that. So just a little bit of background about myself. I've actually been coaching real estate agents for a little over 6 years. Before that, I was mentoring them. Continuously in top sales, I've developed a program called Wow Power Players. And I'm on a mission to teach real estate agents how to wow people, grow their business, and have a wow life themselves. I firmly believe that Send Out Cards is I've got over 36-step blueprint, and Send Out Cards is one piece of that. I am a coach as well, like Jim mentioned. I love to coach with different companies on how to take their business and their life to the next level. And I do have people, just in the last 2 weeks, I've had interest, I feel blessed, from over 200 real estate agents to join me over at EXP because they have all access to my Wow Power Players program. My vision, my dream is to have Wow Power Players all over in America and Canada making a difference, because I believe real estate agents are very powerful and can make a difference in community. So I commend each one of you for your good hearts. I mean, you're in Send Out Cards right there that shares with me you have a good heart. And I'm so passionate about the Wow Power Players. If you have any questions on that, feel free to go ahead and ask me. Someone else just wrote in, okay, someone said, I am actually a referral partner wanting to learn how to connect with realtors and help them succeed with Send Out Cards. Okay, you want to connect with realtors, help them succeed. Okay, I have some secrets for you on that. So over the years, part of my formula on how to wow people, one is if you are going to be farming, like Joe and I had this conversation, and I believe Naomi, you're farming as well. If you're going to be farming people, what do you think people are going to do? If they get a card from you and they don't really know who you are, what do you think they're going to do?
Get curious.
Be curious. What do you think is going to be something that they're going to want to do, especially as they keep getting cards? So the first card they might throw away, the second, third card from Joe, what are they going to do?
My opinion is that they're going to start seeking out to find you online. So probably Facebook will be the next step for them to find you and then search you out, see who you really are.
Yes, absolutely. So how do you look online? I mean, I've gone into companies and revamped their profile. So really think about that, each one of you, because people are on a research phase. I've gone into companies, they say our business is hurting, and it's shocking. You'll find people beer bonging or stripping, and it's all attached to these corporations. And I've even had clients say, I have family who have inappropriate lifestyles, and it's coming over into my profile, so we worked with them. So go through your profile. There's an easy way, especially Facebook, you could do click view as and see how you look and have a conversation with people. And it's shocking to me how many people who are even social media experts that I've coached, their links are broken or not working. So make sure not only you have the right profile to track these people, but your phone number's on there if you want them to call you, your information, your links are working, because broken links are a really common problem. So that's one piece of advice. I did have a gentleman write in. He said he's been using Send Out Cards for several years and has had 0 results so far. So we had a conversation, and I noticed that he's, sending cards, and it was kind of missing the wow factor. And the good thing about my years in business and coaching agents is consumers have come to me and have said, Jessica, real estate agents, mortgage, insurance, they all sound the same. So we really want a quick answer, what's in it for me? So really think about that. What's going to set you apart? I know each one of you have your own awesomeness about you, and really educate and share with people about that. And, open up the light to that. I'm sure each of you, like Naomi, it sounds like you have amazing success in probate, right? And so you might want to start sending out some cards that talk about, hey, here's a success story, and we'll leave the names out, but and people really relate to stories. Have you ever tested that out, Naomi? Oh, you're muted. Oh, sorry.
Mute. Now you can hear me? No, I haven't done any testimonial type cards, but that's a good idea. Now I can't hear anybody. Oh.
Oh, whoops, I'm muted. So who here likes to hear of a really good story to get something in the mail? And that's a way to showcase how you're awesome and your talents and everything. So my experience with Send Out Cards in the last 2 weeks, I put myself on a challenge, and I challenge each of you to send out 100 a week. Already, I've had interest from over 800 people now by referrals wanting to use Send Out Cards. it's unbelievable, the response. So when I genuinely connect with people, and that's what somebody else wrote in, and I really liked what he said. He said relationships is the main thing. Money is just the icing on the cake. So really focus on those relationships and delivering that value, and everything else will just go ahead and come. I can hear somebody. I don't know who that is.
It might be me, Jennifer.
Oh, hey, Jim.
Yeah, I just unmuted myself. The two topics that seem to have come up the most on this little group is time management and farming. And we all have that time management issue. There's only so much time in the day. We all have 24 hours a day. And, you know, what's the best way to use that the most efficiently? And that brings up farming. Those two go together really well. I farmed for 17 years, and farming really seems to make sense. It's been trained for all 25 years by every company I've been with. Most realtors still farm, and they believe in it. Now, I made money farming too, but I want you to think about these two things. You only have so much time to spend, and you only have so much marketing money. Now, if you're going to spend time and marketing dollars, does it make sense to spend it in a farm where less than 10% of those people are going to be moving? Or spend all of that time and all of those marketing dollars with people who want to move right now? And that there's for sale by owners and it expires. And if you spend, because I did it, I farmed for 17 years, and once I joined Send Out Cards, I never farmed again. Now, if you're still going to farm a neighborhood, Send Out Cards is phenomenal. But I promise you this, if you take that Send Out Cards money and the time that you spend sending to that farm, and you work only with expireds, and I also have to pre-qualify that because everybody I say this to says, Jim, we don't have expireds in our market. And that's true. Most of the markets are so good, there might be 1 or 2 or 3 expireds per day. But I've coached over 50 agents since January. I've been on 50 different MLSs at least. And when you go back to like December 1st and you pull the expireds and you start prospecting the ones who haven't relisted and haven't sold, every time with 50 different clients, we find a plethora of phenomenal expireds, and 95+% of those people still want to sell. So I would just tell you, if you're farming and you like it, feel free to keep doing it. But I promise you, if you take that time and that money and spend that on expired listings, not the ones that expired yesterday, if there are some, great, but go back 5-6 months, you won't believe. And if anybody here doesn't believe it, private message me. I'll get on Zoom. I'll get on your MLS because I've done it over 50 times, and every single time, it's phenomenal. And the other thing I'll have to tell you, and I coach this, but I don't mind sharing it. There's so many expireds when you go back and do that. What you want to sort for are 2 things. You want to go after the expires where the previous agent didn't use a good first photo, which is at least half the time. At least half the time the agent either didn't use a good quality first photo, or they used the wrong photo, or it needed an aerial photo, and most agents to this day still don't use aerial photos, or if it expired more than once and they switched agents. But yeah, I can promise you from experience, I farmed for 17 years. Did I make money? Yes. Quit farming 9.5 years ago. I would never do it again, because time and money can be spent with people who 100% want to sell right now. That's where your money should go.
Thank you for sharing that, Jim. I do see, Jennifer says she loves stories. Yes, and I'm going to expand more on that, Jennifer. That's worked really well. There's a question for you, Jim, from Kathy. Do you put the picture of the house on the cards from Google Earth?
No, and I love that question because that's the easy thing to do. That's an easy way to do it. Or what a lot of agents will do is they'll just take that picture from the expired listing. I go out and take my own picture. I'm using a drop letter. Why would I use a drop letter? Because they may relist before they get my send out card or my send out card with a package. So I go out and I put a package on their doorstep or in their mailbox, and it's an envelope. You can see it in my book. You can see it on my videos. Videos are free, and that package has their expired MLS sheet in it, and it has a drop letter on top of that. It says your listing expired, and I leave that at their door. I don't knock at the door. Now there's exceptions to that, but normally I don't knock at the door. But while I'm there, I take a photo of their house, and that's the photo that I use. Which brings up another really quick point, and I have to mention it. Somebody asked how, I think you said, Jennifer, they were a realtor and they've been using the system and they haven't had any luck at all yet. Well, you know, I'm a real estate agent and I'm a coach. I don't spend most of my time trying to get people. I am eventually going to be full-time and send out cards, but I'm not there yet. So I don't spend a whole lot of time with the people who sign up under me, unless they pay me to coach them, then I do. But I've had at least 300 realtors sign up in the last 9 years. And this has happened at least 20 times in the last 9 years. I'll get a call 1 or 2 or 3 months later from a realtor who signed up. And they say, Jim, I signed up under you under Send Out Cards, and it just doesn't work. And I say, well, what do you mean it doesn't work? And they tell me that they've sent out 10 or 20 or 50 or 100 cards, and they haven't had any response. So every time I schedule a time to spend 5 or 10 minutes with them on Zoom, and we get on a computer like this, and then we go to their Send Out Card system, and I look at their sent cards. And every time that has happened, what that realtor is putting on the front of the card is either like a stock card, which, you know, stock cards we have are great, but I would never use them. I would never use those. Or they're sending cards out that has that realtor's picture on the front of the card, that realtor's photo, and they're like their Remax or Keller Williams or Coldwell Banker logo. That's what they're sending out, because that's what realtors are trained to send information about them. So every realtor that I've ever talked to who uses it the right way, which when anybody opens up an envelope from us, in my opinion, it shouldn't be a stock card. It shouldn't be anything about me or my company. It's either their house or something I got off of Facebook about them or their family. When you use it that way, it works.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Jim, for sharing that. So someone mentioned that they want to learn how to connect with more realtors. So all of us are in real estate except for I think 1 or 2 of us. So I'm happy to share that there's a gentleman, he was targeting real estate agents, and this will be advice that we can all integrate into our real estate business. His mother was a psychology instructor, and so he used psychology within what he mailed out. He had 100 real estate agents. He sent 5 different cards to each one of them, and 70 of them out of the 100 ended up hiring him. Now, what he used is the whole psychology behind this. So for example, I'm in the process of creating the same system for myself, and you want to leave just enough information to engage someone where they want more. And it's that whole psychology to keep sending. So for example, my first card, my target 100, it's just going to be simple. It's just going to say, wow, Power Players is here. And then you'll think, well, what is that? And they'll just have a website or an invite. That's it. Nothing more. Keep it short and sweet. And as you keep dripping information to them, they'll keep wanting and craving more. And then part of that is going to be stories. You can use success stories. So for example, one of my 5 cards going out, it's going to have a team who are top producing real estate agents, and how by them becoming a wow power player, they turn their business around and their life around. So it's piquing that interest with the cards. What I can also share with each of you guys is a couple people have been sending out cards where they collaborate with other businesses and give value. So it might be, you know, here's an appetizer at this restaurant, or, you know, they're creating relationships where they provide that value where people are like, wow, I actually got, you know, a gift from my real estate agent. So that's also part of the integration, is working and creating relationships with other locals and delivering value to their sphere. It's a win-win for everybody, right? So those are some other ideas. A gentleman I just worked with, like Jim, he hired me to coach him and guide him. So we came up with a series of showcase your knowledge, showcase a story, give away a gift, create this series in your whole marketing campaign. So I wanted to share this with you because when I've had one-on-one conversations with people, they absolutely love it. And I know we don't have enough time to cover everything. I just wanted to inspire you and give you some different ideas based on what I know has worked. And different people are going to have different ideas, and definitely test and utilize what's going to work for you. And when it comes to farming as well, you know, not only your online image, but really showcase yourself as the rock star you are. You know, here's success stories, here's the latest stats, this is what's happening. And I know a woman who did that, and after, you know, she was like living in her car, and then after 3 years, she made $1 million. Very specific in following that sort of algorithm and farming a community. Is that helpful to you guys? You guys have any questions on that? You guys are muted. I saw someone. Yes, thank you. That's helpful. Okay, I'm glad to hear that you enjoyed that. Jennifer said, let's see here. I am like Naomi on the investment side. I'm doing wholesaling, fix and flip, and buy and hold. Awesome. So maybe you guys can go ahead and collaborate and hold each other accountable. Good info. Thank you, Kat. Yes, I'm happy to go ahead and share a record. One of my purposes of doing this, because I can't keep up with all the requests, people not on my team, and I wanted to provide value. So this will be recorded and you guys can go ahead and share it and give it away. Let's see here. Thank you from Jennifer. For warm market and past client touches, what do you recommend? That is a great question. Kathy, let's see here. Where are you, Kathy? Kathy, do you mind sharing what you have done? Oh, you're unmuted, Kathy.
Okay. I've been doing the birthday cards, definitely. And lately I've been on Facebook looking to see any life events and doing that. But I'd like to hit my whole warm market, my past clients, with something. And I'm leery about, like, how's your summer going? Something like that. But I don't want the same card to go out. And like Jim said, I hadn't used a lot of stock cards before because I always did a lot of campaigns, but I did a lot of Picture Plus cards. So, just didn't know if I should just pick a summer card out of there or create one, or it takes a lot more time to individualize them, but then they might be more of an impact that way. These are people that I know, so I don't know that I need to put their picture on the front. So just trying to get some ideas to be able to get a bunch of cards out.
How many are in your sphere, Kathy?
Oh, well, I have a lot. I mean, but like as far as I've got maybe a list of 75 or so that I really want to send cards to.
Okay.
75 to 100, other than birthdays.
So I love that you brought it up because part of my coaching program is let's wow people outside. Because a birthday, I mean, it's wonderful that people get all these cards, but let's wow them outside of a birthday, totally unexpected. That's part of the wow factor. And I do a combination. I would love to hear from Jim too. I do a combination, and I believe in a combination of both. So you've got the personalized, which is great, and then also, showcasing that you know your stuff. So here's the latest market stats. Here's a success story. Here's a gift for you. Following that type of series, I know would be really beneficial for you.
And this is not realtors. This is my sphere, my just success stories on what though? Because on just my real estate skills, or
how long have you been in real estate for?
Almost 6 years.
6 years. Okay. So I would bring that into the story. I'm sure there's some market stats or latest news. I know where I'm at, a lot of people are wondering the mall was just sold. So who bought it and what's happening? And you could say, in my 6 years in real estate business, I'm noticing this is a new hot topic. So I wanted to share with you guys some information. I thought of you. You're one of my favorite people. I thought of you.
Okay. Yeah, we've got the Raiders are coming to Las Vegas, and we've got, the Golden Knights, and we've got information I can put out there. So that's a great idea.
Mm-hmm. People want to know that you are in the know. And then real estate market, where are things happening? And I know that there's tools out there that my clients use, and you could send a card. Hey, I don't know if you went ahead and got an update on your latest value. And here's something else I'll tell. So this was part of EXP, the company that I'm a part of, the real estate company. There was a top producer shared this, and I love this. And instead of saying, what is your home worth, reach out to me. Hey, you want to hear how much someone's willing to pay for your home?
Okay.
That different angle, it created this whole buzz. Well, yeah, I'm curious, how much would someone be willing to pay for my home today?
That just brought up an idea, and I don't know if anybody else could value from this, but I just found that I could run a report we are on Matrix. I don't know how many people are on Matrix, but I could run a report that gives me an actual graph of years past and how the homes have zoomed up and where they are right now. That would be a great picture to put inside of a card, I suppose, or even, I don't know about on the front. But
I like that. Or another hot topic I keep hearing amongst people is, where's the future going? Give me a call. See, that's an excuse. You could tell them, hey, so many people are asking me, where's the future of real estate going? Give me a call. Let's connect.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're
One of the
welcome.
things that I'm trying to do is pull people back in, like we mentioned at the beginning of this, back into Facebook. And, you know, a lot of people have done over the years recipe cards. And what I decided I was going to do, and I've actually just started doing this a couple of nights ago. I'm the cook of the house, so I like to cook. It's a passion for me. So I started creating a recipe card. But then off the recipe card, the plan is to bring them and to link them into the video of the actual cooking process on YouTube, which in turn would link them back into Facebook, which gets your like count up. It gets that whole circle going to where now you know who's engaged. So you've got your sphere of 75, 100 people. How many of those people are staying engaged with you through the whole process? And you kind of weed out the ones that, you know, they're there, but they're not really, I can spend my time better and make more money and be more value to this person than I can this person, and kind of tailor what you're doing, but bring everything back online also so you get that instant gratification too. Because you can put a lot more online than you can in just a card.
So Joe, your niche might be, you know, for the people who love to cook in the home. Not only do I find the home of your dreams, the master of the cook, that might be, I'm not a big one for recipe cards personally. That might be a really good, you know, niche for you. Or come up with something so unique. I can tell you that I've gotten kind of famous for my unusual cooking when I go to parties. So I'll make, you know, cupcakes with hidden Swiss chard and spinach, and people about die, you know? So, you know, would you like to see my hidden secret famous recipe where I hid in all these vegetables and kids don't even know it and adults love it, right? Create that. I want to be in the know. I want to know what's happening, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I love vegetables and I love hiding them in cupcakes, and I can eat it and not feel bad. Anybody else want to add anything?
I will real quick. I think it's really important to bring up a topic that people don't like to talk about in real estate. And to me, it's the most important topic. The latest statistic I heard out of NAR is that 86% of newly licensed realtors will be out of business in 5 years. And that's a fact. It's not a Jim McCord stat. That's an NAR stat. Now, why would 86% of people no longer be in our industry? I think we all would love to make a living on our sphere by people we know, by people calling us. It just doesn't happen. Now, if you've been in business for 10 or 15 or 20 years and you've stayed in touch with all those people, absolutely it can happen. But the great majority of realtors don't have 10 or 15 years experience. And even if they do, they haven't stayed in touch with their clients like Gail has. So for new agents, they have to get this idea out of their head that they can make a living either through their sphere or on farming, because it just isn't going to happen. You have to prospect. You absolutely have to prospect. Now, you know, you don't have to do what I did. You know, I paid Mike Ferry the first couple of years, and I made 100 phone calls a day, and I knocked on 50 doors a week. You don't have to do that anymore. The Send Out Cards is phenomenal. And especially if you go after the expired listings, which there's so many of that the previous agent used the wrong photos. But you do have to prospect. And that's what I'd like to tell anybody who is a realtor who isn't making what they're doing. Start spending your money prospecting. You don't have to do the phone calls, but you send out cards to go after expireds. It's phenomenal. It'll work. And one other thing, I think, Jennifer, somebody had asked, what's the best way to attract realtors to send out cards? Well, what I've found without question is go to that realtor's website, their real estate website, or their Facebook page. Right-click, save that picture, put their picture on the front of a card. And then on their on their real estate website, they're going to have their listings. It always says my listings. Click on their listings. Take their most expensive or their most impressive listing, right click, save that picture, put that on the bottom of the card, their photo on the top, their listing on the bottom. And just in between those, just type nice listing. And then on the inside, just a short message. You know, that's a great listing you have. These friends of mine that I know, and they can mention Jay McHugh, Gail Zientek, Jim McCord, Jennifer, can mention any one of us who have been using Send Out Cards. They've been using this unique marketing system. They all say it's the best marketing they've ever done. I'd like to share that with you. Well, if a realtor gets a card, especially if it has 2 brownies or cookies or fudge, and they open up that envelope and it has their photo on the top and their listing below that, it's going to blow them away. So that's one way that I think is a really good way to introduce Send Out Cards to realtors.
Thank you for sharing that. I don't know if you're talking to me, Jim. I'm Jessica. If you're talking to Jennifer Wyatt every time.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
So I'm not sure. I just wanted to clarify. I'm not sure if you're talking to me or the other Jennifer. I'm talking
to everybody on the program here, but I'm getting names mixed up, which happens.
That's okay. I have a sister, Jennifer, so I just wanted to make sure. I didn't know if you're talking to me or the other Jennifer. So I really like that. There's so many different ways, and it's really about finding what works. So like Jim, I love that his niche is the buyers, right? And every person's going to have their own unique niche, and really finding your niche and what works. And I want to bring out something I'm finding really fascinating as it's getting out there that I obtained my real estate license. I've had several people reach out to me and say, wow, we're so glad you did. We don't know of any real estate agent. And I'm shocked. There's a guy I met when I gave a TEDx talk. I was shocked. This incredible gentleman. And he's like, I don't even know any. Or I was speaking to a powerful businesswoman in my community, and she goes, I've heard from one once in the last 3 years. And then what really took me back is a woman said, I referred tons of people to this one real estate agent over the years, and I've never received one call, one card, nothing from her. So relationships kind of seem to be missing. And what I'm so passionate about, the 97 and the 147 that Send Out Cards has, it's a no-brainer. I start at the 97. I end up at the 147 because for me, I'm all about the relationships and sending out those cards, like Jim mentioned. And then I'm also have that 100, people that I'm strategically marketing to as well to join me in my Wow Power Players. So just something to go ahead and think about. And people want to know value. I saw something on social media that was really controversial where consumers were saying, we want to know what real estate agents have to offer. We don't even know what we're paying this, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7%, whatever it may be is. So really educating people. I got a new listing. I did this. I ran a Facebook ad. I went out, and everything you do for them. So people have a really clear understanding that this is a lot of work, right? And you provide a lot of value. Those are some other ideas I wanted to go ahead and pass along. And someone else just reached out to me that they're cold calling. I know Jim mentioned that cold calling. I'm not a fan of that. If you are to go ahead and do that, at least send out a card or something to prep them who you are. So like Naomi, you could send out a card, here I am, and I'll be reaching out to you, or reach out to me, whatever. So, and I would love to receive a card from Naomi and hearing who she is in her story. I would feel relatable to her and know that she's the expert in this area. I don't know if you've ever done that, Naomi. I would love for Naomi to send me one. I want to hear her story.
Oh, well, give me your address.
I'd love to. Okay. Does anyone present to realtor groups? Yeah, I'm landing left and right. Real estate companies are having me come in and speak. They're having me come in and speak on how to be a Wow Power Player, create the perfect day. I actually have agents in training because I can't keep up with the interest. So there's a lot of interest at real estate schools. They're craving for people to come in. I have people in training, part of my real estate team, for them to go in there and to teach on how to be productive, create the perfect day, social media. So yeah, they're looking for valuable information for you to come in and speak. You just can't pitch yourself. But people come. I mean, after you speak, people seek me out on social media and ask to meet and connect. So is that helpful to you, Kathy?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I've done presentations on follow-up classes and then tagged send out cards onto the end of them in the past. And now what I want to do is just go in there with send out cards as a follow-up method, but with the new programs, and just looking for anyone who's done that, maybe has an ad piece that you send out for promotion to the team lead at that office, that kind of thing. I can create my own. I just thought if anybody's already done something.
The only thing I've done, and it hasn't been utilizing send out cards, but I just provide valuable information that they're looking for speakers. That's how I get in.
Oh, I've got in down here in Palm Beach. I've got an office I'm going to go train in 2 or 3 weeks. I just want to send an ad piece over there, and then I want to really formulate what I'm going to do in that 30 minutes to an hour. I know I want to save a portion of the last part to have them get on their computers and send a card, or get on their phone actually, and just send a card off the app. Just walk them through sending a card off through the app. Because I believe they get a free account. The gift accounts, we don't need to sign up anymore because when we have the $97, but do they need to put their credit card information? And those logistics I kind of need to work on.
So Kathy, how many people in the office you're going to be speaking at?
Well, there's probably 200 realtors there, but last time I did a class there for them last summer when I was in Palm Beach, and I had probably about 30 people in the class.
Okay, great. So if I were in your shoes, I would send out a card that intrigues them, that you increase your attendance to over 30.
Then I'm going to send to the whole 200.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, what I'm looking for right now is a piece to send over to the team lead that they can put on their calendar, like on their intranet and things like that. So if anybody had already done one of those, I'd love to know.
I haven't followed that model exactly, but there's stats out there that state, I can't remember the exact number. It was after 3 or 4 years, over 70-80% of people don't go back to their former real estate agent. So I would do a capturing piece like that. I have a secret solution for you. Don't miss out on this meeting.
Here's what, if I can chime in on that one.
Yes, please.
The public, and this is another one when I present also in front of real estate companies and real estate groups, and I always get a big groan when I share the chart. And if you have my book, you've seen it. You can't read it here, but what it is Gallup does a poll every year, and they ask the public to rate high trust level in all the top 25 industries. And realtors are ranked below lawyers in high trust level.
Right.
There's only 20%.
I read the book.
Yeah, and that's a huge thing. And I really believe there's a lot of reasons for that. Realtors hate when I bring that up, but to me it's really important because you don't want to act like the agents that I coach. I tell them in all of their contacts, let them know you're different than every other realtor. Because I know 25 years ago, before I got into real estate, I thought it didn't matter who Amy and I buy a home from or who we list our home with. Because they're all realtors, they all do the same thing. And I didn't like it, which is why I got into business. I didn't like any of the realtors we dealt with. But the key thing is to be different. So you don't want to be doing a phone call. You don't want to be doing the door knocking. They don't like that. Do you want people knocking at your door? No, you don't. Do you want a bunch of mailings coming to you? Do you want your friends calling you 4 times a year saying, hey, I'm your friend. Remember, I'm a realtor. I'd like referrals. So if you keep the common theme that you're different than everybody else, it really, really works. And to go along with Facebook, I think you mentioned Facebook. So many realtors are putting their listings on Facebook. It's mind-boggling. Now, create your own Facebook group or your own Facebook page. It's real estate related, and that's phenomenal. That's a great idea. But most realtors, and if you get on your Facebook page and just scroll down the feed and look at the realtors who are putting their listings and see how many likes and comments they get, it's almost none. And look at their other posts where they post about their family. That's what people go to Facebook for. They go to Zillow and Realtor.com and EXP and KW and Remax to see listings. They don't go to Facebook to see your listings or to see that you had 5 closings this week. You have to be different than everybody else. And when you let them know you're different, they want to work with you because you are different. And then I'll just leave you with this, and I got to go. I got another call I got to jump on. But I would focus 100% of your time and your money with people who want to sell their house right now. And those are expired listings. And there's tons of them in every single market. You just got to look for them.
Thank you, Jim. And I see, Pat, how do we get info on Wow Power Players? Well, right now it's an invite only. I would love to connect with every single one of you. Just connect with me on social media. And I would love to just have a conversation. And if you want to privately share with me your biggest challenge in real estate, I've been doing this over 6 years and how to overcome it and turn it around. I would love to do that. My goal is to wow you. I mean, I want to see people overcome their biggest challenge. So feel free to reach out to me on Facebook, social media, my website, simplywowagency.com. I'm happy to have a conversation with each one of you. I appreciate all of you for being a caring person and human being, because I mean, it shows. Each one of you want to know how to spread this kindness and the send out cards and grow your business and make a difference. So thank you to each one of you. And thank you for the infamous Jim to join us. What a nice surprise. Okay, have an amazing day, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.